Hey everyone, a very good evening to all of you guys. Welcome to the Finance Current Affairs session. So guys, let's quickly start with today's discussion. The very first thing we are going to discuss about today is related to the trade relief measures. Okay, trade relief measures. We are going to discuss about some of the trade relief measures which are there on the RBI website, which is the recently released data on the RBI website. Just give me a second now. Just give me a second. Okay, very good evening to everyone. Very good evening. So guys, the very first news for today is from the RBI website directly related to the trade relief measure, right? Related to the trade relief measure. So what kind of relief they have given? The very first thing is extension in the time period. Okay, the very first thing is the extension in the time period. They have extended the time period for the realization, for the repatriation of full export value of the goods, services or software that you have exported from India. Earlier it used to be 9 months, now it is 15 months. So say for example, I am an Indian, I am an exporter, I am exporting goods and services to the overseas country, say for example USA, right? So whatever I have sold, I need to realize those proceeds. I need to realize and repatriate those proceeds, full export value proceeds within a period of 9 months. Earlier, now it is 15 months. Now it is 15 months. Okay. So this can be an important update. Please do remember, now it is 15 months. Okay. So now exporters were facing certain kind of delays due to the global economic slowdown, and the timeline is now relaxed to 15 months from the earlier 9 months. Okay. So now I can say there is some breathing space to the exporters. Next one, time extension for shipment after receiving advances. So earlier the exporters were having, let's suppose you gave me an advance. Now if I am an exporter, I need to ship the goods within 1 year. Now the timeline is 3 years. Okay. So from 1 year, 3 years is the new update. If I talk about shipment after receiving the advance, if you gave me the advance, I need to ship it within 3 years now. Earlier it used to be 1 year only. So this is another relaxation. So first update is 9 months from 9 months to 15 months. Next update is 1 year to 3 years. And rest of the updates are related to the moratorium period on loan. So in case any term loan or interest on working capital which are falling within this range, 1st September 2025 to 31st December 2025, now the bank can allow deferment or postponement of any payment related to your transaction. So any business under the stress can get a temporary relief from the loan installment, at least during this particular period of 1st September 2025 to 31st December 2025. Right, so that's the update, and there is an enhancement in the maximum credit period as well. There is a relaxation in the repayment of export credit. If you have taken any credit for the purpose of export, so there is an enhancement in the maximum credit period. Earlier it was used to be up to 1 year only. Now you can also take a credit of 450 days. Okay, for a credit period of 450 days. So it is up from 1 year to 450 days, from 365 days to 450 days. This is a part of RBI Deputy Governor speech, right? So on 14th of November there was a speech, and we'll be just discussing about some of the key highlights of this speech. Why? Because this is related to central bank accounting practice. Accounting is a part of your course. I'll be just figuring out some of the things that you need to know about accounting. Okay, that's what the main purpose will be. Otherwise, this speech will not be so important for us. Now, RBI and Southeast Asian Central Bank, Southeast Asian Central Bank and RBI, they have jointly organized a first international conference on the central bank accounting practice. Everyone has to do the accounting. So is the central banks as well. They also have to do their accounting. How to do the accounting? So this was all about the speech related to the issues they are facing in accounting and so on. Right. So we'll be just discussing about the major things related to accounting from this speech. Right. And guys, in case if you are having any query, you can definitely get in touch with me on Telegram as well. If you write CA Prateek Finance, you will get the name of my channel as well. Okay. The very first thing that you need to understand is the role of central banks. Now, role of central bank is a non-profit organization, right? They are not there to create profit. They are there to regulate the banking sector, to regulate the money market. RBI is there to regulate the banking and non-banking sector. So the whole idea is not to make profit. The very first thing. Second thing, they cannot go bankrupt. Why? अरे वो तो money बना रहे हैं. They have the power to create money. So how can they go bankrupt? Then the core function is monetary policy and financial stability, right? So we've discussed so many things related to higher capitalization, risk capital. Some of the banks are even using IFRS. Now, what you need to know for your examination is the full form of IFRS. What is the full form of IFRS? Can anybody tell me in the comment section? What is the full form of IFRS? For your phase 2 exam, you need to know few things like what are accounting standards, Indian accounting standards, IFRS. IFRS means International Financial Reporting Standards, right? Most of the countries are using IFRS only, International Financial Reporting Standards. So they discussed about some of the accounting issues related to central bank, and then they talked about the accounting practice which is being followed by Reserve Bank of India, right? So in RBI, the accounting framework, the legal framework is completely governed by Reserve Bank of India Act 1934 and the general regulations, right? And RBI follows the concept of conservatism, which we also call it as prudence in accounting, right? RBI also follows the concept of conservatism and fair valuation principles. Now you need to know what prudence is all about, what conservatism is all about. So I'll be definitely explaining you the entire concept of prudence and conservatism. But at the end of the session, so video के end तक बने रहिएगा. We'll be discussing about what prudence is all about, what conservatism is all about. In this speech, they discussed about contingency fund. They also discussed about asset development fund. तो ये आपको पता होना चाहिए CF क्या होता है, ADF क्या होता है ना? देन उसके बाद इकोनॉमिक कैपिटल फ्रेमवर्क के बारे में भी डिस्कशन हुआ था इस पर्टिकुलर स्पीच के अंदर, राइट? सो दीज थिंग्स यू नीड टू बी अवेयर ऑफ, एंड एट द एंड ऑफ दिस वीडियो आई विल बी एक्सप्लेनिंग यू व्हाट द कॉन्सेप्ट ऑफ प्रूडेंस इज, ओके, फॉर श्योर. Now the next update on 19th November, it was posted on the RBI website. This is related to the RBI updated the list of unauthorized forex trading platforms. So these are the platforms that are unauthorized. You don't have to remember this list, okay? You don't have to remember this list. That's not important for your examination. Next one can be important for your examination. Department of Financial Services launches a startup common application journey. Launches a startup common application journey. Now what is a startup common application journey? This is a portal, okay, on the Jan Samarth portal. So this kind of service is now launched on the Jan Samarth portal, startup common application journey. Jan Samarth portal is nothing but a unified digital platform for the startups to apply for credit via the public sector banks. Say for example, there are so many startups. Let's suppose I am a startup company. I want to take loan from a PSB bank, public sector bank. I want to take loan from a PSB bank. So many startups raising loan application to different PSBs. Instead of that, here government has created a platform which is called as Jan Samarth portal. You can give a unified application on this particular platform and you can get your loan approved. You can get your credit approved. So it's a unified platform, right? Initiative name is Startup Common Application Journey. It is by the Department of Financial Services, Ministry of Finance, right? So please do remember this one, can be important for your examination. So the whole idea is this platform will be integrating data from different sources like your PAN number, like your GST data, like Udyam portal, right? This platform can integrate data from multiple sources. And what is the eligibility criteria? Your startup should not have been in the existence of more than 10 years. Your startup should not be older than 10 years and should have a turnover of not exceeding 100 crore. So it should be below 100 crore only and should not be more than 10 years old. So this is the eligibility criteria under this particular program. Next is a quick update. PhonePe has integrated ChatGPT for the AI powered assistance. So whatever AI related queries you can give to the ChatGPT, now you can give to the PhonePe as well, because ChatGPT ka extension is now added in the PhonePe. Direct tax collection, net direct tax collection rise by 7%. This is the data related to April to 10th of November 2025. It is close to 12.92 lakh crore, which is a good data, and there is a growth of about 7% as compared to the previous year. Okay, as compared to the previous year, there is a growth of 7%. Approval of corpus for export credit guarantee scheme. This can be important for your examination. The government of India has recently estimated that it will need to allocate approximately 2000 crore as the corpus for newly approved credit guarantee scheme for exporters. This is regarding the CGSE, and the government has approximately estimated 2000 crore for that, which is designed to support additional credit facility. How much additional credit facility they are supporting? Amounting to 20,000 crore. Amounting to 20,000 crore, right? So this is the update. This is the update that you need to remember. Export Promotion Mission approved by the Union Cabinet. Export Promotion Mission has been approved by the Union Cabinet, and the total outlay will be 25,060 crore. That too for the financial year 2026 to financial year 2031. So this is FY26 to FY31. The mission here is designed to strengthen the India's export ecosystem by consolidating multiple existing schemes. There are so many schemes related to exports, and this particular program is going to consolidate all the schemes to have a unified framework, right? So this is the period which is being covered, and the total outlay is decided at 25,060 crore, right? And there are two integrated schemes in this one. There will be two integrated schemes in this one that you need to remember. Niryat Protsahan, the very first scheme related to the financial support, which includes interest, subvention, export financing, collateral guarantees and so on. And the second one will be Niryat Disha. So this is a non-financial enabler. The first one was a financial support and the second one is the non-financial support. You need to remember the name of both the sub-schemes, the total amount and the period for which the export promotion mission is announced. Okay, I hope it is clear. Sorted hai. Simple है. Non-financial enabler में क्या क्या आ गया? Covers the export quality, compliance, assistance, packaging, everything will be there. But the second one is related to non-finance. The first one, Niryat Protsahan, is related to financial support. Okay. Now for those जिनको नहीं पता interest subvention क्या होता है, export financing क्या होती है, I have given the concept explanation as well. Later on you can just download the PDF and refer to this, right? Because if I start explaining each and every concept in the series, definitely I explain most of the concepts in the series, but if I start explaining each and every concept in the series, it will be, kind of 2-hour, 3-hour series that I don't want to make. This is just a finance current affair of 1 week, right? So we need to be very, very crisp and we need to make it exam relevant. Next is regarding the WPI data. It hits a 27-month low. The WPI data as of now is negative 1.21% for the month of October 2025. For the month of October 2025, right? India has signed its first structured US LPG deal, import deal for financial year 2026. So this is just a quick update that India has signed the very first deal with US LPG, right, regarding the US and LPG import deal for 2026, right. Then digital thrust for UCBs. Now this can be important. Digital thrust for UCBs. National Urban Cooperative Finance and Development Corporation, which is NUCFDC, National Urban Cooperative Finance and Development Corporation. NUCFDC has launched DigiPay and DigiLoan platform, right? What is DigiPay? What is DigiLoan platform? देखो सबसे पहले तो it is all about the urban cooperative banks, right? It is all about the urban cooperative banks. The second thing, they have launched two products. What are the two products? First one is the DigiPay. Second one is the DigiLoan. As the name says it all, the first one is related to payments, seamless digital payments, and the second one is related to end-to-end loan processing system. Now, why this initiative NUCFDC has taken? To strengthen the digital capabilities of the urban cooperative banks. Now, urban cooperative banks are quite good. They cater to the right mass, but they don't have adequate digital capabilities. That's why the NUCFDC, they have launched two new products related to seamless digital payments and end-to-end loan processing. I hope it is clear, right? So, new platform will definitely help the UCBs to compete with the commercial banks, NBFCs and fintech companies by offering digital services such as online payments, such as instant loans, such as retail banking products, that too via these applications, right? So definitely this move is going to boost the credit flows to the MSMEs, to the retail borrowers, to the self-employed individuals. All these are already the clients of UCBs, right? So why not to enhance the UCB capability and give them a tech advantage is all about this particular news, and this can be important for the exam as well. Then SEBI starts review of corporate disclosure rules. So they are going to review all the corporate disclosure rules. They are going to remove the previous one and they are going to incorporate the new rules that improve transparency, reduce ambiguity and modernize the outdated construct, right? So be prepared for different disclosure norms from SEBI. Master Capital Service secures in principle approval from SEBI for mutual fund sponsorship. So now Master Capital Service has got the approval from the SEBI for the mutual fund sponsorship. So they will be soon forming the asset management company and they can launch the schemes and enter into the mutual fund business. Earlier PayU received the in principle approval. Now PayU has received the integrated authorization, the final approval, full authorization from the Reserve Bank of India under the Payment and System Settlement Act 2007. Now they will be operating as a payment aggregator across online, offline and cross-border, three of them. Okay, just a quick update. Next is related to the India's merchandise trade deficit. It hit a record high in October 2025. In October 2025, we can see that the merchandise trade deficit is $41.68 billion, right? Earlier it used to be 32 something, now it is $41.68 billion. Okay, this is the new data for India's merchandise trade transactions. We can see that merchandise imports have increased significantly and merchandise exports have fell by around 11%, and that's what the reason of this widening trade deficit is. Export minus import is the formula, and obviously if the imports are going up and the exports are going down, we are going to have the deficit only, right? Next one is the Trade Intelligence and Analytics Portal. Can be important again. Now this was launched by Mr. Piyush Goyal, Union Minister of Commerce and Industry. This portal is the one-stop trade intelligence and analytics platform developed by none other than the Department of Commerce. And what this platform is actually doing is they are integrating the global and national trade database. So whatever global trades and national trades are happening, this is a trade database. This gives the macroeconomic indicators as well and provides analytical tools for exporters, importers, MSMEs and startups. So what they can do is they can come on this particular platform, they can analyze the data. This is a one-stop intelligence and analytics platform for different crowd like exporters, importers, MSME and startup, right? So please do remember the name of this portal, Trade Intelligence and Analytics, TIA. Next is the 16th Finance Commission report, which was already submitted for the financial year 2026 to 2031 regarding the different areas, like what will be the distribution of the taxes between union and state, what will be the allocation of shares of tax proceeds among different states, and what aid will be granted to the states and financing arrangements will be there for the disaster management planning, right? Now guys, we will be discussing about a new concept. I don't know whether you guys have heard this or before, conservatism or prudence concept, which is in accounting. In the speech of RBI Deputy Governor, we have heard that RBI also uses the prudence or conservatism approach, right? So just would like to tell you about what prudence or conservatism is all about, right? We say that a particular person is conservative, or we can also say that a particular person is prudent. That means he is intelligent, he can foresee the future, right? He can foresee the future, he can identify, he can anticipate that what can go wrong in the near future, what can go wrong in the near future, just like you guys. You guys study really hard because you know what can go wrong in the near future. The result is very low. Let's study damn hard. And that's what a prudent person always do, a conservative person always do. And that's a key concept in accounting, right? It is one of the concept, it is one of the convention in accounting that we follow. This can come in your RBI grade B examination, in your SEBI grade A examination, or any other examination having commerce and accountancy, okay? So let me just quickly summarize this. Let's first discuss about an example and then you will be able to understand it in a better manner. I have debtors in my asset side. And what do you mean by debtors? These are the customers to whom I have sold goods on credit. What do you mean by debtors? For those who don't understand debtors, these are the customers. These are my customers to whom I have sold goods on credit. Goods on credit, right? I have sold goods on credit to them. Now I will be receiving gradually, I'll be receiving my money gradually from them. And the amount is 2,50,000. Now I anticipate that I will be only able to receive 90% of my money. 10% of the money will be irrecoverable. 10% of the money will be irrevocable, and rest of the 90% I'll be able to receive it. Right? Rest of the 90% I'll be able to recover it. 10% मैं recover नहीं कर पाऊंगा. That's what my understanding is. In the upcoming 1 year. Now this is a future event. Still we make provision for it. So 2,50,000 multiplied by 10% will be my provision for bad debts. I think that 25,000 rupee I will not be able to recover in the coming future. So if I am a prudent person, I will recognize 25,000 as a provision. What is a provision? It's nothing but a charge against profit. So whatever profit I have earned, I'll deduct 25,000 from that. Why? Because this can be an anticipation that I might face a loss. This is an anticipation that I might face a loss of 25,000. Maybe people will not give me the money back. Right? This never happened actually, but I'm just anticipating that this thing can go wrong. Just like you guys can anticipate that, okay, ESI is my weak zone. Maybe I'm not able to attend few questions, so let's study deeper. Finance is my weak zone. Let's study deeper. Maybe some things go wrong in the examination. Just like that, here also we are predicting, what if this goes wrong in the business? Maybe I'm just able to recover the money of 90% of the clients, not the 10% of the clients. So what I can do is, right now I can create a provision. Let's set aside this amount. There's no surety of recovery, right? So let's make a provision, and we say that we are prudent. We are conservative, right? That means we think before doing. We have intelligence. We can anticipate future losses and expenses. That's the whole idea of prudence. anticipating future losses and expenses, but we never anticipate future gains and income. My next month's salary, can I recognize it today itself? No, that's foolishness. Anticipate future expenses and losses, but never anticipate the future gains and income. So I ignore gains and income. जब होने होंगे तब हो जाएंगे, then we will record it. But if it is an expenditure, we will anticipate it. 6 महीने बाद का भी expense होगा, आज ही provision बना लेंगे, right? We will create a provision for that. That's what the concept of conservatism and prudence is. Now this concept can come anywhere in your examination. It can be 1-marker question in your RBI MCQ. It can be in SEBI grade A examination or any other examination having accounting as the core, right? If I talk about stock, the stock is valued at 41,000 in my balance sheet. This is as per cost. I have bought this stock. Stock means my inventory. Say for example, if I sell this pen, if I sell this t-shirt, that's my inventory, that's my stock. That is the goods in which I deal, right? So the cost of this stock is 41,000. Maybe I am able to realize the net realizable value. If I sell the stock right now, maybe I'm just able to realize 35,000 of it. I'm just able to realize 35,000. So I value it on the lower of cost or NRV as per accounting standard 2, right? So I value it as per the rule of lower of cost or NRV, whichever is lower. So really the value should be 35,000 in the balance sheet. So that's why I need to recognize a loss of 6,000 rupees here because of prudence, because I am prudent. Why I will state a thing worth rupees 41,000? Why I will state an asset which is worth rupees 35,000 and now I am showing it at 41,000? That means I have overvalued my asset and that's not a good practice. Let's mark it down to 35,000. उसको 41,000 पे मत बताओ, उसको 35,000 पे ही बताओ. That's also an example of prudence only. That's also an example of conservatism only, right? And guys, for those who are preparing for RBI Grade B examination 2026, you can check out this mentorship batch as well later on. You'll be getting sessions from the super mentor who himself has scored an AIR1 in the RBI Grade B examination, right? And there are a lot of things in this particular batch, live classes, notes and whatnot. And then we have some of the articles from the Economic Times that we need to have a look. So first one regarding the cap of two UPI players. We all know that PhonePe and Google Pay, they command a majority of the share in the UPI market, and NPCI is always quite concerned about the same thing. That's why in January or February 2025, I don't know exactly what the date is, but they actually started advising that these two entities need to cut their market share and new entities need to absorb the market share. So they are in the process of introducing a cap. They have already introduced a cap, but the timeline keeps on getting delayed, right? So the very first homework for today, read the timeline for this one. What is the new timeline by NPCI by which the players need to reduce their dominance so that they are not only just the players in the UPI market, because Google Pay and PhonePe is having a good amount of dominance in the UPI market, right? So do research about this particular cap. What is the timeline and what is the cap, right? Next one was saying clearly no to free Digi lunch. So this was again an article in the Economic Times. Sustainability of zero charge digital payment. So you might get a descriptive question in your examination, in your RBI Grade B examination, even 2025, regarding the UPI payments, how sustainable it is to make UPI always free, right? So is it sustainable or not? This article very well describes that thing, right? So that will be definitely your homework and the extra dose part which you need to quickly read. Okay, so that's all from my end for today, guys. Thank you so much for attending the session. I hope you find value in it. If you find value in it, let me know in the comment section and do hit the like button. See you soon in some other video, and tomorrow we will be there with MCQs related to the finance current affairs. Bye bye, take care, good night. मिलते हैं अगले वीडियो के अंदर.